The quartermaster handed him a dark gray uniform, but when he unfolded his shirt, a faded name tag came into view. The man frowned and went to the quartermaster. The quartermaster impatiently tore off the label and said that the size was inappropriate, completely ignoring dozens of pieces of cloth scattered under his feet that were also torn off. Without much thought, the man left with his uniform, but he didn't know that this dress was worn on a soldier who died on the battlefield a few days ago. 3 months later, on the Belgian border, the mud didn't reach the military boots. The man climbed into the trench with the troops, and a rancid smell of blood and rust came to his face. The heavy rain turned the trench into a quagmire, and the recruits had to use helmets to scoop water. In the moonlight, this helmet was no different from the enemy helmets captured during the day. In the middle of the night, the man shrank behind the sandbag, listening to the explosion in the distance, and his teeth were scared to fight, which was far from his fantasy charge scene just before dawn. The shelling suddenly struck. The man rolled into the air raid shelter with his rifle, and the bloody handprint on the cave wall brushed his face. After the smoke dispersed, he climbed out of the bunker on knee-high blood, and he was stunned by the sight. The mutilated body was lying in the mud, a corpse shirt was lifted, and half a name tag was exposed. The man felt familiar, so he quickly touched his chest pocket, and the other half's name tag was there. At this moment, he finally understood the cruel origin of this military uniform, and his stomach was full of not only fear, but also desperate cognition of the nature of war. In the evening, dusk enveloped the battlefield, and men numbly sorted out the relics of dead comrades. He untied a muddy uniform, and another name tag fell into his hand. The rain rushed through, reflecting the empty eyes of men. There was the sound of a funeral bugle in the distance, and he remembered that the apple that his mother had stuffed into her bag when she joined the army had already rotted in the bumps. The wind blew through the trenches with dead leaves, smelling of blood and smoke. The boy who smirked at the uniform was completely gone.